Sean Diddy Combs won't be leaving prison anytime soon. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the program on tonight. According to USA Today newspaper, the judge has set the actual trial date, or the beginning of the trial date, for Sean Diddy Combs for sex trafficking. The music mogul and entertainment icon will not be allowed to be out on bail during this time. Tyrone Bowman Live, for those of you who have subscribed to Tyrone Bowman Live, thank you for subscribing. I hope many more will subscribe as well. Tyrone Bowman Live, it is uncompromising, unfiltered, and unapologetic. So let's get down to today's story. So according to USA Today, Sean Diddy Combs' day in court has been marked on the calendar. Judge Aron Subramanian, or Subramanian, at a Thursday a hearing set a date for Combs' upcoming federal sex crimes trial of May 5th, 2025, the same day the 2025 Met Gala is set to take place. His legal team had previously requested the trial to begin in April or May of next year. So what does all this mean, and how is this going to affect Mr. Combs and the entire judicial system? I think this trial right here would be nothing in comparison to the past trials they had for O.J. Simpson and for Bill Cosby, for R. Kelly. So what we have coming up here is going to be a legal mess. And you know that the feds, they want a conviction, and they're not going to settle for anything less. And you can mark my word on this. Many of the people that he once knew and that he thought were his friends, they're going to be sitting right across from him, and they're going to be testifying against him. They're not called informants. We call them snitches. Now back to the story. Prosecutor Emily Johnson told the court the prosecution's case would last at least 3 weeks. Combs' defense case will last around 1 week, or so they think. Defense lawyer Mark Agnifilio said. The hearing comes after Combs' attorneys on Tuesday filed documents to appeal his jail stay, arguing that federal prosecutors' prior reasoning for his detention was based on speculation. You know, I agree with you, straight up snitches. So let me get this straight. Combs is not allowed to have bail, right? He can't have bail. But Donald Trump is allowed to just walk free. Even when he was arraigned, they didn't set any bail for him. Just walk right out. Even after he had his mugshot taken. Even after he was convicted, they said, go ahead and run and become president. Supreme Court, what did they say? All the Trump loyalists on the court, you know what? We're going to grant you total immunity for any crimes you committed while you were president. You know why? Because we want you to do it again. We want you to be president again. We want a tyrannical rule. We want to be able to say and do whatever we want to do, and we want you to strike fear into the hearts of black people to try to keep these uppity ends in their place. Basically, that's what it's tantamount to. So somebody just has to say it. I'm not going to pussyfoot around with stuff and play with stuff. Combs was arrested at a Manhattan hotel on September 16th and arraigned the following day. He has maintained his innocence, pleading not guilty on all federal crime charges despite mounting civil lawsuits over the past year. Subramanian also said Combs will remain detained pending his latest appeal for bail. The Bad Boy Records founder has been incarcerated in the special housing unit at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center since his September arrest. He's in PC. There's no special housing unit in prison. I was in prison. Did 10 years. They ain't got no special housing unit. Either you're in general population or you're in PC. So they have him in protective custody. PC. That's where the brother is. And some of you all, you think this is a game and you think this is a joke until it happens to somebody that you know. Until you get framed and set up and lied on and sent to prison. So Subramanian also said Combs will remain detained pending his latest appeal for bail. The Bad Boy Records founder has been incarcerated in the special housing unit at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center since his September arrest. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York declined to comment on Thursday's hearing. So I'm going to be reading a couple of articles here. Combs, who faces charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution after his arrest last month, and his legal team appeared in court Thursday to meet with Judge Subramaniam, who has taken over the case from Judges Robin Tarnowski and Andrew L. Carter, both of whom previously denied Combs's $50 million bail proposal. So why all of a sudden does he get a new judge? In the midst of everything, now he's getting a new judge. Why? Wearing tan prison garb, Combs stood and blew kisses toward his family members seated in the courtroom audience after the hearing ended. His mother and children, sons Justin, Christian and Quincy, and daughters Chauncey D. Leah and Jesse attended the hearing. Defense lawyer Anthony Rico and said in court, Combs was then led out a side door by members of the U.S. Marshals Service. Late Wednesday, the rapper's legal team filed a motion for an evidentiary hearing to investigate alleged government misconduct and leaking case evidence to the media. It included a request to impose a gag order prohibiting prosecutors and federal agents from disclosing further evidence to the media. At Thursday's hearing, Johnson called the gag order request an attempt to exclude a damning piece of evidence. She said prosecutors would have no problem affirming their obligations not to disclose confidential evidence to the press, but said the defense should be bound by that as well. So basically, the prosecutors, they don't really want a trial. They want to try this in the court of public opinion. That's what they want to do. And why are they so hell-bent on not allowing him to come out on bail? Why? What's the reason behind it? Johnson also raised concerns about Combs' attorney Mark Agnifilio's statement in a September interview with TMZ, calling the case a takedown of a successful black man. She said the comment amounted to an accusation that the government was engaging in a racist prosecution. Probably are. So, I mean, what's wrong with that statement? Don't try to act like this is not racially motivated and the timing of this is totally off. In the midst of a presidential election, he's arrested, held without bail, detained. So what's really going on here? And evidently they must be privy to a lot of different things, and we'll find that as time goes on. I'm a criminal justice major. I will be analyzing this case every step of the way. Judge Subramaniam asked Agnifilio to propose an order that would govern public statements by both sides. In the Wednesday's motion, Combs' legal team accused the government of leaking information, including a newly unearthed 2016 video of Combs assaulting former girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura, which Combs' attorneys say biased the public against the music mogul. No, he did that to himself, sir. Combs did that to himself in that hotel that day. That's why he hurried up and settled. His lawyers requested an evidentiary hearing to investigate alleged government misconduct and for government agencies involved in the case, including Homeland Security investigations, which led the raids on Combs' homes in March to reveal communications and records related to alleged leaks to media outlets. Further, they asked the judge to issue an order prohibiting federal employees from disclosing evidence to the news media, as well as the suppression of any evidence leaked by government employees. 2 weeks after Combs' arrest, Texas-based lawyer Tony Busby announced a series of pending civil lawsuits against the Grammy-winning rapper during an October 1 press conference. His clients, some of them were minors when the alleged abuse took place, accused Combs of violent sexual assault or rape, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and sexual abuse of minors, among other offenses. Combs has emphatically and categorically denied false and defamatory any claim that he sexually abused anyone, including minors. His lawyer, Erica Wolf, told USA Today in a statement at the time. Before Combs' latest appeal, the embattled music mogul lost 2 bids to be released on bail. The first judge, U.S. Magistrate Judge Robin Tarnowski, sided with U.S. attorneys' arguments that Combs posed a risk flight if he were to be released for home detention. After Judge Carter upheld Tarnowski's September 17 ruling against Combs, Mark Agnifilio, one of Combs' lawyers, vowed to appeal the decision. I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. He said outside the courtroom on September 18, I'm going to try to minimize the amount of time he spends in very, very difficult and I believe inhumane housing conditions in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Detention Facility. I tell you this much, nothing better than that ever happened to him. Because if anything happens to him, like it did Jeffrey Epstein, and I still to this day don't understand how Jeffrey Epstein, and you know all the mess he was involved in, and he was worse than Combs, and he was supposed to have been guarded day and night and day. The alleged suicide that they claimed that took place. Combs' mother, Janice Smalls Combs, came to her son's defense in an emotional statement released via Genesis attorney Natalie G. Figures on October 6th. Now I want to go back to something I saw earlier in this article. I think it's worth mentioning if I can pull it up. So here it is. So Sean Diddy Combs is requesting to be released from jail ahead of his trial for federal sex crimes charges. And this article says that the embattled media mogul's attorney filed documents Tuesday to appeal his jail stay, arguing that federal prosecutors' prior reasoning for his detention was based on speculation. So why could he not receive bail? What's the problem here? I mean, there's really no evidence. What is extreme and unusual about his case is that Mr. Combs was detained immediately after he was charged, even though he has been in the spotlight his entire life. With many of his purported antics and episodes being widely reported in the press and known to law enforcement authorities, his attorney, Alexandria Shapiro, said in the motion for pretrial release filed in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. So he was arrested, as I said, on September 16th and was arraigned on sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges the following day. So September 30th, his attorney submitted a notice of appeal to the matter. The first step in an appeals process. In her legal filing Tuesday, Shapiro claimed that the possibility of obstruction laid out by federal prosecutors was based on untested allegations about communications with witnesses, aka snitches, in civil cases, and communications initiated by supposed witnesses and not Mr. Combs. Shapiro added that Combs poses no conceivable flight risk and cited his pre-arrest behavior, telling the court he immediately directed his attorneys to contact federal prosecutors in March when he understood he was the target of a serious federal investigation. I'll keep you abreasted about how this is going to unfold, and this is going to be a major spectacle that goes down next year. And ladies and gentlemen, I think, especially black men, be careful who your friends are. Be careful who you surround yourselves with. One of the main reasons why I decided to become a lawyer, because I have to be unframed and set up. It never happened to me again. You can believe that when I tell you. Never surrender. Never quit.